Kathy, and I'm back with another process video, and this one is for paper issues, and this is for the Take 5 Tuesday. And if you go to the Paper Issues blog or the Paper Issues Friends and Fans page that's on Facebook, if you belong to it, and or because that's where you can do the challenge, but I believe the Paper Issues page also has it, which is on Facebook. That's like a public page. The other one's closed and you have to join. Anywho, back onto it. That way you can find out all the different items that you can use. And basically it's like pick 5, which every time I do this challenge, I end up with way more than 5 picked because usually half of them are just stuff I would do anyway. So it just ends up being like, well, yeah, that color's in there even. So I think mine ended up being like pick 9 or something. Take 9 or something like that. But anyway, I'm working with one of them which mentioned some colors. 2 of the colors were yellow and orange. And I remembered that I had this paper that I bought from Paper Issues, I think it was last summer. And it was an October afternoon paper that may even still be in the store. I can't remember. And it was like a summer paper. And the background's also from that same October afternoon collection. And as you kind of got a little hint of what I was doing there, I cut it apart and made these kind of chevrons out of some of the paper. My whole idea was, now I'm kind of fiddling around of whether or not I want to put them going horizontally, going vertically, what exactly it is I want to do. All I know is that I just wanted to use some of that really cool geometric paper in some way on this layout. But I really liked the idea of my pictures also being kind of just together, but like haphazardly, I don't know, almost in a messy kind of way. I just like when stuff's placed casually on my layout. My tastes in scrapbooking kind of change because sometimes I used to like them when they were really structured layouts, very like a, very kind of grid layouts, and now I'm a little bit more like I like stuff just kind of being free-flowing and just kind of not placed perfectly straight up and down or things like that. So I really wanted the photos to be one on top of the other and kind of not sitting perfectly and stuff like that. So anyway, that's why I end up going back to this design, which is some chevron pieces going up and some going down. And then I realized that I could overlap them and bring the chevrons closer together. So I decided to do that. So the reason you're kind of seeing me fiddle around right now is I want to make sure that the best pieces are on the outside where you can see it, and then the one that was getting covered up, I didn't really care if it was just a solid one or not. So I did have to fiddle around. I wanted to make sure enough gray was showing, enough orange was showing, enough yellow was showing. Just me being kind of weird in that way. So I end up figuring out what it is I want to do. One of the Take 5s was a border, and I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do a border because sometimes I feel like pages need to be grounded. And this was one of those that when I was working on it, I felt like it needed something. I do not end up putting a border around it. I think some of the reason is because I did want to do a craft cardstock border, but all the craft cardstock I had was too light. Too dark. I wanted a lighter, very sandy one, and I could not find one. I guess I didn't have any at the time, so just didn't end up using it. I think it turned out fine without the border. I'm gonna glue these down, but just a little bit on each side. And you can see where I overlapped them, but that's gonna be covered up by the photo, so it's not really a big deal. I debated cutting another chevron so that the bottom had a little bit more, because when I glued it up at the top, so close to the top, I ended up having a whole bunch of space left over on the bottom, and I thought about, oh, maybe I should add another chevron piece, but I don't end up bothering with that. It's fine. It's meant to look haphazard, so. And then I was like, oh, maybe I can pick them up and move them, and but no, I can't. So I only lightly glued these down, and that's because I'm going to stitch through the middle of each one to just kind of, there we go. And I used yellow embroidery thread, and I split it in half so that there were 3 strands, and then once I put it through the eye of the needle, it ended up being like 6 strands together. So the reason I kind of skipped through a lot of that was actually because my phone just decided it didn't need to record certain things, and I thought it was recording, and it had actually stopped after like 8 seconds. So that's why you're missing why those papers are all torn, and why there's a whole bunch of cut apart. That paper was Rhapsody collection by Photo Play, and I had some of it left over, and I just thought the colors would work well, and I ripped all the sides of it, and I really like how it turned out. I'm like super into ripping paper lately. It's kind of like one of those things that comes and goes. So right now I'm into it. Who knows next time? And sometimes I like to use a ruler to do the ripping, but I can't find my ruler. So whatever, just messy. So I'm doing both sides so that I can bring in that turquoise color, because one of the take fives was turquoise. So this way I'm bringing in turquoise. One of the take fives was stitching. So now I've brought in stitching as well. And I kind of don't know why I didn't go up and down in between, like why I didn't just do one straight line instead of just doing each individual chevron. But anyway, that's what I did. So I just, whatever. I did cut apart a bunch of tags, and I really did want to use them. I do end up using one, but I had to sneak it in a weird way, and that's because I couldn't find my hole punch. And the thing is with cut apart tags with me is I have to punch that hole out. I can't stand it being this fake tag without the hole. So because I couldn't find the hole punch, then there's no point in using the tag. But the one I do use, I cover up where the tag would be, or sorry, where the hole would be, so it still looks like a tag. That summer chipboard piece is from Poolside Collection, which is an older crepe paper collection that you can sometimes still get pieces of. I believe there is still some of it in the shop. You know, you can always go take a look. But I'm mixing some older stuff with some newer stuff. So that happy is from Chamel, Little by Little. And I kind of liked where that's how it said happy and then summer, and I don't know why I left it. This is one of those things where, looking back, different pieces could have worked. I could have left the layout the way it was or not changed it, that type of thing. Anyway, I think the reason I did is because I did want to use the life, because the sticker sheet came with a happy and a life in gold, and it's kind of a nice matted gold a little. It's not super reflective or shiny, which I really like. But I was so determined that I had to use that life that's why that summer part didn't end up getting on there, and it could have worked. So I mean, there's definitely different ways this layout could have ended up. This one didn't really start out with a clear plan. It started with a little bit of an idea, but it was more so just like the hint of an idea. So I'm trying to find something that fits, like where I want the beach to fit in so that I can write happy beach life, that type of thing. And the white ones actually would have worked, but I do not end up using them. I go back and I find these wood ones from the Cool Kid collection that Crepe Paper had put out, and they are wood, and they're really kind of cool. And they were, the white ones were too thin and tall, and the marquee ones were too wide. So this one to me was a perfect fit. It wasn't detracting. It was readable. It had that kind of sandy color, so it worked out really well. So I like how that turned out. I did put a few foam squares underneath the H and the F and stuff in life and in the happy, so that it's not going to get completely squished down when it goes into an album. So I'm just trying to clean up my stuff because I have a really bad habit of not cleaning up after I'm done. So because I have gold, I'm feeling that need to put more gold in. I also wanted to use up some chipboard. So I have two of the poolside chipboards and I've been slowly whittling away at them. I love the idea of bringing in the flip-flops and bringing in the shorts and just the little kind of summery icons. And this will help bring in more of those colors that I'm working with. I love those feathers, and they had work, like the colors worked, but it just really wasn't the icons I was looking for, I guess. So I'm primarily going to stick with mostly just the chipboard. And I am going to have to fiddle with that one a lot because it didn't want to stick and stuff like that. This is a new, I think it's called Summer Fun something like that. It's a Simple Stories collection that just came out, and so I can't remember if I know I look at using some of it, but I don't know if I actually do end up using any of it. So I just pretty much want to do something in that corner, in that lower right hand corner. And I do feel like I need to bring in some gold because there is gold in other places, and I'm doing that whole thing where I need my visual triangle of gold, just because it's in other places. So that's the tag that I really like because it brings in turquoise, but it's not working because I can't find the hole punch. And now that I think about it, I know where my 3-hole punch is, so I could have worked that out. This is another thing where it could have gone a different way because I actually like where that yay is up there, but I do move it. So this is a cut apart sheet that was also from that same October Afternoon collection that I'm just trying to, use up because I've got lots of summer stuff now because I ordered and have received lots of the summer stuff from Paper Issues recently. So I liked the turquoise on orange and the sentiment of that cut apart. So I thought that worked out really well. So as you can see, I am trying to cover up where the hole should go for that tag so that you don't see it. And just trying to make a cute little embellishment cluster and do a few more embellishment clusters. I can't remember if that bottle stays. I know the flip-flops stay, and it took me forever to find them. I lost one in the carpet in my room and couldn't find them forever. But two of the things that you don't see me do, I do this off screen later on, is I do put some little corners in the bottom left and the top right of this page when it's done. And I do add some black baker's twine underneath some pieces. And that was just to add in some contrast color, just because there was nothing really dark in this layout. So I just wanted that pop of black. I'm trying to add in my third piece of gold. And that's why I had the ampersand. But I love this part, just as you and me in the sunshine. And that works really well. So there's my third, little icon of gold. And it's bringing in the pink, and it's taking up that space there. So it's kind of doing triple duty, I guess. I am going to put little thin pieces of foam underneath the chevron pieces just to make them stay popped up. It's not like a huge change in it, but it just kind of gives a little bit of dimension. So besides those other things that I do to the layout that I didn't do on screen, I'm going to add some shimmers, Jenny B Blue, and I'm going to use a paintbrush for this because I find this one doesn't dab. I do it for the little parts, and then I want some bigger, like water looking splashes. So anyway, so that's it. Yeah, the pictures are coming up. thank you guys so much for watching, sticking with me, watching my videos, liking, subscribing, commenting. It all helps so, so much, and it helps me keep making content. So I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. So have an awesome day. Bye. Or not bye. Or keep splotting stuff. Anyway, super bye now.